name's Dalton.
G-Man.
We're from
Central Florida.
The 66 Wannabe is a 73 Beetle. It started its life as a shell, as a 73 Beetle in Tampa. Two guys, the names are not coming to me right now, but they started to put it together and took four fenders, the hood, the deck lid off of a 66, took all the trim, the lights, the interior, to make it look like a 66, so that's why it's a 66 Wannabe. And yeah, the only thing that you kind of can look at it and know that it's not a 66, the rear apron is still the 73 rear apron, and the front apron has been changed to the 66. So it's really hard to get our spare tire in and out of the front. It's not right. The only thing we've done to it is put a motor in it, change the transmission, and that's about it.
Well, the 66 Wannabe is currently the car right now. It's been built to look like a 66, but it's a 73. We've ran into the last four owners that owned it, which is nice, and we wanted something that was patina, aged look, and we don't want it polished up, and, a show car. I'm building one of those right now.
What got you into Volkswagens?
Oh boy, I think it was 2015. My father purchased butternut yellow 1978 Carmen convertible, and he brought it home. We actually drove it home from where we purchased it. It was a long drive, made it home, no issues, and parked it in the shop. And I said, "Why'd you buy this ugly thing?" I was like, "This is so ugly," because all we did was work on Trans Ams, Smokey and the Bandit, and of course Mach 1s, and just all different types of American muscle cars, never really VWs. He always told me, it'd be cool for me to have a Beetle as my first car, but we ended up restoring that 78 and painting it Alpine white. It had factory AC, but we didn't install it. It came with fender skirts, and we drove it to, I think, 2015 or 2016 Bug Jam was our first ever major VW show. We didn't know anybody. We were just walking around. There was 3 people with VW spectators, and we stayed in a hotel. We didn't do camping. It's crazy that a couple of years, more than a couple of years later, we're full-time into this. At first, I didn't like the yellow, convertible, but after you painted Alpine white, we went to tons of car shows, and of course we had a lot of breakdowns throughout that process. Everybody does in VWs. Trial and error, definitely. It was a great car. We sold it to a guy, I think in Fort Lauderdale. He tows it behind an RV, and he actually installed factory AC in it, and I think still drives it around today. I would love to get in contact with him and actually do a video with it now and see how the paint job's come along over the time, what he's done to it. So maybe one day. After that, years go by, and we bought a 63 Beetle. I think it was $2,500, $2,200. I don't know, it was cheap. It came with a bunch of stuff. It was sweet. Black with white interior, and we were going to restore it. We were going to paint it actually Turkish. We sadly never did. We ended up selling it and not finishing it, but then we kept that color. And later on down the line, my dad, he left his job, and we came home and just, started working on VWs, and the first one we started restoring was Alley's 72 Super, and we ended up using that color from what was going to be on a 63 and used it on the 72 Super. So that's how I kind of am to where we are right now.
My first car, I bought it 15 years old in 1974 Super Beetle. Learned to do some fiberglass repairs on some Swiss cheese in the floors, and then pinstriped it. It was melon green with gold pinstriping, and I painted the rims gold. I actually took Trina to Disney World back when I was 16 in that car.
What drives you to Volkswagens?
What draws me to Volkswagens? The sound. Marbles in a mason jar. And it sounds great behind you, especially having the long hair, living the VW hippie lifestyle, feeling the wind, blowing the hair. Got your straw hat on, whatever, sunglasses, cruising, listen to some good music. If you're filming, hopefully no music, because otherwise you'll be copyrighted. And having the top down, I don't think I would want to really own a Volkswagen without a ragtop right now. I love it. I love a ragtop. It's like the car is a 63 and a 66 and a 73 all mixed together. 3 words draws me to Volkswagen: the sound, the feel, and the people.
Just the nostalgia of it. And Volkswagens were so interesting. Besides, my uncle had a Volkswagen thing, so that kind of started me in that direction. I think I was about 11 years old when I experienced that.
What makes your car unique?
Well, it's a 66 Wannabe. It wants to be a 66, but it's a 73. So I think it's very different. Crazy thing is we know all 4 owners, previous owners, still in contact with the last one, Jenny, and Jeff Garner's floating around somewhere around here, AC Auto House. He worked on it. Somebody asked me yesterday, some lady walked by, not a VW person, and she said, "Why don't you paint the hood why do I want to paint the hood? That hood has a story. That rust spot, something happened. Somebody dropped something on it, somebody ran into something. It's patina. All these cars have characteristics, that speak for themselves. Every car has a mind of its own, a personality, like Herbie.
Just the simplicity of it. It's kind of primitive engineering, or so to speak, technology. And it's just amazing that after, 80 plus years that Volkswagen's been around, but it still just rolls. And I mean, you don't need anything, no computer or anything. Just 4 wires, some fuel, some oil, and some air.
How often do you drive your car, and how many miles do you drive it a year, roughly?
Probably under 1,000. I think we've only put like 500 on it, to be honest.